one of the misconceptions about social media is that it's going to be a giant time sink. The 20-year-olds are spending an hour a day on Facebook and 7 hours a day, a little bit more, with their electronics, okay? So you could make this your life, as they have done, but let me just throw a couple of ideas out there. First of all, we all have an opportunity to harvest a huge amount of time back out of our day. We are now spending more than 40% of our resources in corporate America working email. This is other people setting our agenda, right? Well, I want to work my agenda, not the world's agenda. And the mistake we're making with email is that we're mixing in time-critical, urgent stuff with everything else. Now, if we start to think about, well, let's pull the time-critical out of email. Now I can work email in batches. It doesn't have to control me anymore. In fact, I no longer need email on my BlackBerry or iPhone. That's a huge opportunity to get some time back. Now, the stuff that is time critical, these tools in social media, they're a lot better for doing some of that stuff. I mean, even something simple like texting, or a service built on texting like Yammer or back to Salesforce.com, they have something called Chatter. This is a way that we can communicate much more concisely and efficiently with our coworkers in a closed network than using something like email. Second point I want to make is some of the most valuable strategies in social media are those that are based on something that's not time consuming. For example, most B2B and B2C businesses could benefit from blogging, right? I'm going to think about who's my target audience, what could I give them in the way of information that would be valuable to them, and then I'm going to put together a post, maybe once or twice a month. Not every day, but once or twice a month. So my investment might be an hour or two a month in blogging. And by the way, if I'm an executive in a company, maybe I'm going to task one of my marketing people with blogging, and they're just going to walk in with a camera and spend a minute or two with me once a month. So blogging could be a really time-efficient way to start to connect with a target audience. And compared to an email newsletter, which maybe many people are doing, hey, Google doesn't see those email newsletters. And think about it. When you get an email newsletter, what do? You queue it for later, which means queued for never. Instead, let's shorten up the email. Use email as a table of contents into what you're doing on your blog. When you put the content on your blog, now somebody can get that short email, click through, you got them online, but it's also indexed by Google. It's there forever. So it's working for you not for 1 week like your newsletter, but for years in the sense that you created timeless content. So the bottom line, social media doesn't have to be a super time sink. But frankly, these tools are a little bit more efficient and a little bit more effective for some of our communication challenges. And I think we've overused email. Let's harvest time back out of there and use some of these new, more efficient tools.